Today's episode is brought to you with the help of our sponsor.
Dog butter is healthy peanut butter for your dog with minimal ingredients and no additives. None of the harmful ingredients that could be found in human peanut butter. We have supplements inside some of our formulas, such as a joint formula, probiotics, pumpkin for digestion. Every purchase supports rescue dogs. We donate a portion of our sales every month to different dog rescues across the country. Dog butter by Paw Power Nutrition.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pitbulls, Parolees, and a Producer. My name is Billy Cooper. I am the executive producer and showrunner for Pitbulls and Parolees. I am joined, as always, by owner-operator of Villalobos Rescue Center, Miss Tia Torres, and a long-time reluctant participant of Pitbulls and Parolees.
Though my view
Tia.
is quite exciting today.
Oh.
I'm watching.
Wait.
I'm watching.
Are we supposed to?
Huh?
We're supposed to have a guest. Where's Kanani?
Can you hear? Hold on.
No.
Wait. Pounding.
We tried to have Kanani on the podcast before, and he was a no-show
Hear it.
last time.
Hear the drills?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is good. Wait, where is he?
I'll go
He's
find
outside. What is he?
So I'll take this one.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
And
I'll wait.
we can go look for Kanani. Whoa. There he is. I don't know that he will be joining us today. Yes, they are building the new deck for for my new podcast office. I should do this next while, but whatever.
Okay.
What do I know? He's in a rather precarious situation. They are building the new deck for my new podcast office.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you can podcast overlooking the lake.
Yes. I mean, it sounds glamorous. So it's not like I'm on some fancy lake in Florida or something. It is it is a Louisiana lake, but a lake nonetheless.
That's true. Yeah.
It's more of a lake swamp.
So Kanani's with us in spirit.
Yes, and drill guns and hammers
At drill gas. Okay.
that I could feel.
All right. So let me get to the business at hand.
Okay.
We do have a sponsor. We'd love to thank our sponsor, Paw Power Nutrition, for coming on board and sponsoring this podcast. For those of you listening at home, you can go on to pawpowernutrition.com, buy some of their dog butter in the 4 different flavors they've got. Use the promo code VRC10 and you'll get 10% off of your order at
And
checkout.
if they don't want to buy it for their dogs, they can buy it for our dogs because our dogs love it. So you can buy it for our dogs and then go on our website and you'll see our shipping address and you can send it to our dogs.
There you go.
We use it every day.
And by the way, I think
We use it every day.
Yeah, and and a portion of their proceeds they do pick other rescues that they do donate their some of their profits to. So
yeah, so some of the proceeds come
everybody's
to us.
winning.
Yeah. When you buy it, some of the proceeds come to us and the dog peanut butter will come to us.
Okay, so we are talking today about the 8th episode of season 3. Like I swear, it's like this is like your worst road trip ever. You're trying to get from California to Louisiana, and I keep stopping for the bathroom. You're like, can we just get there already?
It's like
Right?
when you're a kid, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
No.
So this is
We're
episode
not there
8.
yet.
This is episode 8.
8 of 12. So we still got some balls of twine. We got the largest ball of twine to the sea. We
God.
got to stop the
Okay.
Grand Canyon.
No, yeah, no
we
shit,
got a lot
man.
of stuff. Still got a lot of stuff we got to do.
Oh,
all
my
right,
God.
Anyway, title of this episode is called "Pushing the Limits." Originally aired on January 14th of 2012.
Okay.
I only have the short description for this episode, so you're in luck.
Yep.
3 energetic roommates seek a pit bull who can keep up with them, and the parolees disturb a trio of beehives. The bees are back.
The bees are back. Okay.
Okay, so this episode actually was chock full of a bunch of stuff happening. And actually, so we actually featured in this episode America's Family Pet Expo. This was the second time we went to the Pet Expo. We had the boss adoption.
This like a shark. Oh, is he excited too?
Yes.
He only likes us so far. He's excited.
The bees come back.
Yeah.
There's bees.
Yeah, we've got bees. The bees are back.
This was the twins doing a hardcore dirt bike training.
What do you think?
And then this episode also featured probably one of our most controversial stories of season 3, the Alessandro rescue.
Just unbelievable. It's like a whirlpool.
Yes.
Do you want a puppy?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Alessandro rescue?
Uh-huh. Sure do. Yeah. A lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. So, what do you want to get into first? You want to talk about the boss adoption first? What do you want to get into?
Sure. Amazing.
Okay. What do you remember about?
I'm listening to you, and I got like my visual right now because I'm like 3 stories up in the air. It was 2 or 3 stories up in the air. I'm looking out the window with this big excavator bucket hanging in my window, hoping that it doesn't come through the glass, with these big 2x8 planks, and they're lowering it on the porch. Oh, you're here! You're gonna join us?
Kanani!
Okay. Yeah.
All right, hold on. We need to adjust. Mose, get on it.
He's gonna give us a couple of seconds of
Make
his
some
time.
adjustments.
You didn't have to.
Kanani, welcome to the show.
TikTok.
Yeah, glad to be on the show. I got work to do though, for sure.
Okay.
And I got a wife to go home too.
For those of you just joining us, Kanani has graced us with his presence. Kanani, okay, since this is the first time you're on the podcast and we talk about the show, and so we're talking about the California years of the show, what do you remember when your mom told you, hey, we have a TV show?
It was a joke, kind of like, hey, funny, ha, hoo, hoo.
Told you they didn't care about the show. You didn't believe me or what?
I mean, that's how we felt about it, or I'm saying this for me and my brother, but
Yeah.
I mean, we really didn't know like what she was actually really talking about, Like, no, we're just scooping shit, Like, who cares?
I told him that. I told him you and your brother didn't care.
Yeah, fixing stuff. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of nice though to hear it directly from him, and so everybody really, I mean, like, Tia, obviously you say that, but when Kanani says it himself. So over the years, Kanani, have you gotten used to it, or is it still just a huge pain in the ass?
The TV, camera people being all over you and all this, that, and the other?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, especially when we're trying to do something and get work done and stuff like that, and you have to stop what you're doing to, take
hint
time to do what you guys want to do and not what we need to do. Yeah, so...
Okay, so I'll make this very quick. So Kanani can probably sort of answer. Kanani, do you remember the boss adoption?
No, I do. Oh, yes, actually I do.
with the cool
That was good.
cars and stuff.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys did. So, I mean, how cool was it? So the boss adoption featured, bunch of guys, a bunch of roommates, and I think, they had motorcycles and things like that. And you and your brother trotted out. What? Say it again.
It was a bachelor pad. Is what it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Total bachelor pad. How cool was it for you, especially when your mom comes to you and says, hey, I need you guys to ride motorcycles all over the place and wildly and crazily, and instead of getting in trouble, go nuts.
I think anybody could answer that one. I mean, in my thing, I would be absolutely. I love to do that type of stuff, all that crazy fun motorcycle riding and all that. Having fun is the cool part. That's what I enjoy doing. So, I mean, I'm sure everybody else would be the same way, so... Yeah, but it's fun.
He was a young guy. Of course he had fun.
No, but I know you guys were always causing trouble. I mean, but it was kind of nice when you would participate in the show. And I think
I
everyone
told him when
did
you buried
appreciate
Billy's car.
Oh, that was
You and your brother buried.
that. Not me, Billy.
No, Billy, our worker.
Parolee Billy.
Yeah.
Well, it needed to be gone, so we got it gone. Maybe not the right way, but it got handled.
Yeah, I mean, Kanani, we've talked a lot about the sort of things that you would put producers through and the crew through when they would join up with the show and they were new. Why would you guys do that to the new people? Like, what was the point?
Well, I don't know. You're getting in our lives. We might as well get in your lives, right? Be as annoying as possible. So,
great answer. It's a very valid, good, legitimate answer.
No, I do think his brother got to be worse after a while with the crew. Kanani kind of, refrained. And then Mo had this
Ease
obsession.
up.
Mo had this obsession with the audio guys.
Oh yeah, the funneling.
Correct.
Yeah.
With the boom.
Because it went away with the butts.
Oh, that was it started with the butts, your
Yeah.
butts, hanging your butts out.
Yeah,
and
that's
then then it started. You guys started dry humping, making dry hump sandwiches out of the crew.
Yeah.
They would dry hump
Yes.
at the same time. Same
Yes.
person.
No, I mean no, we didn't.
Anyways, and then Kanani started being grown up, and then Mo started having obsession with audio guys, and just started like messing with them so much.
True.
Yeah.
I will say Kanani's probably one of the best huggers I've ever met in my life.
Aw.
Because it means something.
When
you know
Kanani
what I
gives
mean?
you a hug,
Oh my
It means
goodness.
Yeah.
it's emotional. It's got compassion.
Oh
it's
my
got
God!
Everything. Yeah.
Stop. Let him go back to work.
I'm not just gonna hug you just to hug you.
Jeez. Oh my
Let me feel your
God!
soul.
You can tell he's been on TV long. He knows what to say. He knows what
Yeah.
to say.
No, you trained him well. He hits it.
Yeah.
All, he goes hard.
Got all the sound bites.
So to you, so let's get into boss. So let's get
Yeah,
back to the
snap,
show at
we
hand.
got-
So
he's gotta get back
boss,
to
what do
work.
you? I mean, oh, okay, Kanani, you're done. You can go back to work.
I can.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Okay,
it's,
you can say-
like,
you
Mom,
say-
you don't want the
You don't
stuff done?
Okay, you
no,
can
we don't
say-
have to do it. No,
No,
I
say
gotta go.
longer. Yeah. You know what? You want to say longer?
I got maybe like a couple more questions, but
Okay.
I really gotta go.
Couple more.
couple more. Okay. I mean, Kanani, do you remember Boss, the dog? Like, what do you remember about Boss?
Very vaguely. I mean, Billy, you should know. I mean, we have a lot of dogs. I mean, we've gone through so many dogs, and like, it's crazy that I could still remember a little bit of what happened in the TV shows and all. You know what I mean? I'm like having people coming up to me and tell me, hey, do you remember episode 1, season 2, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, And it's like we've gone through so many dogs and
I
stuff
mean,
like
actually,
that.
that
but-
brings up Kanani. I mean, like, since this is probably the last time you'll ever be on the show,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I have to sort of get the questions in while I
Cool,
got
yeah.
them. I mean, how did that work for you when you started getting recognized in the street and people started coming up to you and talking to you and asking questions about you and your mom and the dogs and whatever? I mean, like, how was that for you?
Oh, dude. I mean, I think it was pretty cool. I mean, in my situation, if I was looking into it and saw somebody famous and stuff, I'd be doing the same thing, right? I mean,
He
I think
handled it
anyway,
well,
but
though. He handled it really well.
I love people.
Yeah,
I love
yeah, yeah.
talking to them.
Yeah.
And, giving them answers. I mean, answers if I have the answers to. But I mean,
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I'll take the time out of my time to take a picture with them or sign something for them or say hi or whatever. I mean, I enjoy it. I really
him
do.
and Mariah him and M1 always were good.
Yeah.
And then the rest
Yes.
of us sucked when it came to the public. Yeah, we always pushed Kanani.
Sucked isn't necessarily the right word.
Yeah.
I think it's sort
Do
of
you
like,
remember? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Do you remember the first time him and his brother got a taste of being recognized is when we went to Long Island for that appearance at an animal shelter, and I pulled them
Yes.
up on stage, and all these young girls were screaming so loud. It was like they were like Justin Bieber or something. I couldn't even like say. I said, and here is. Like all these little girls like screaming, and I'm like, I'm trying to like say their name, and they just kept screaming.
Yeah.
And then when they would try to talk, they would scream. When they, like put their hand up, they would scream. They couldn't even do that. They just kept screaming the entire time.
That is
And
pretty
that was
cool.
like the first time like the twins got a taste of like, wow, I guess they know who we
This
are.
is for real?
Yeah, it was crazy. And they had to like block everything so we could get in without getting mobbed, and they were pulling our hair, and it was crazy.
right, you guys had I remember you guys had a police escort
Yeah,
for that
the
event.
police had
It
to
was
get
crazy.
us in there. Yeah. So that to me was like the first time that I saw that they got really noticed
Yeah.
by a million people.
And Kanani couldn't get it. He was trying to get numbers. He couldn't. There were two. It was two. He couldn't get them fast enough, right?
And then
All the
That
fans.
was before I, met
and then he got
Mariah
in
and
trouble
all,
during Mardi Gras. It was before Mardi. Then he got in trouble during his first Mardi Gras parade, and girls were screaming at
Oh.
him, and he took his shirt off.
Yeah. Well, it got wet.
And they were.
Oh.
I guess you're not
Beer
supposed
all
to do
over it.
that on this particular parade route. He got in trouble
Oh,
for
is that
taking.
real?
Yeah.
Oh.
He took his shirt off, made the girls scream more, and then he got in trouble at the end for taking his shirt off by the Mardi Gras police.
Is that even a real thing?
That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, just whatever they're called.
So, I mean, it's funny because also in this episode we do you went to the America's Family Pet Expo, and I know to you we've talked about the first time you went. The second time you went, I think, was you were even more mobbed, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
like,
we
just
stopped
sort of,
going. We stopped
It
going to
became
yeah, it was too
it
hard.
became difficult, right? I mean, just because
Couldn't go to the bathroom.
people would.
Yeah, pushing. They were pushing. There was, Yeah, we didn't have enough security. Yeah. And then the thing is, then the reason we would go to these pet expos, we were trying to get like dogs homes. We were trying to educate people. But at that point, with the TV show being so popular, nobody cared about asking us about the dogs anymore. It was just to take pictures.
Right.
So
TV show,
it was,
yeah.
And so it was like, we're trying to get our dogs home.
Yeah.
So in that sense, the TV show kind of backfired for us when we're going to these kind of events.
Right. And yeah, I could see that.
They did.
No.
Trust me.
All right. So, shifting gears. So the boss adoption with the three. I mean, Tia, I do remember you talking about this though in this case because it was the three roommates adopting the dog, and I remember there was a concern of like who's really the adopter here because roommates fight. They move out. They do this. They do that. I mean, was that how often did that come up over the years? I mean, it didn't really come up on the show very often, but
Well, I mean, ultimately, the roommates did end up splitting up, and then boss ended up with Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
Ben, one of the guys that lived there.
Super cool, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then they wound up teaching boss how to surf, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Let's do multiple things. I think.
Yeah.
Boss became a surfing dog.
Boss became Ben's arm candy, and I'm saying that in a very nice way.
Boss was famous.
Ben capitalized on that, or tried to, and getting women and things. So, hey, whatever. Foss had a good life. He had a good owner. Yeah. So
the other story that sort of was featured in this episode was a bit of a, a little harder of an episode, a little sort of sadder, more controversial, it was the Alessandro rescue. I mean, Kanani, if you want to go back to work, you are free to go.
Thank you, sir. It was a great time.
Yes, thank you, Kanani. Great time. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
See you next time.
And out he goes. Back to the lake.
Then now he's gone. So the Alessandro rescue, Tia, this was a pretty, unique story at the time for the show. What do you? I mean, I think was Rita the one who called it in, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember. I just remember he was found at one of the LA County animal shelters, and
no, it was Louise. Louise found it.
Yeah, in really bad shape. The owner had dumped him there, and we just didn't want to see him die in an animal shelter like that. So we took him in.
Right.
For a very short time.
Up until this point, it's funny because up until this point, we had shown, the girls had rescued a dog that had died, basically bones of a dog that had previously been died or whatever. But this was one where there was you said to me, we're going to rescue this dog and we're going to have to put him to sleep and you guys are going to film it. So, I know there was a definite concern, especially from the network side. How are we going to show this? We're going to show a dog getting euthanized. This is what we're doing now. And so why was it important to you?
Because people needed to see not to use the pun, but they needed to see the reality of running a dog rescue.
Isn't it funny how even though we didn't know him long at all, it's just like every now and then there's just that dog,
It's not just fun little adoption stories every day. When you run an animal shelter, there are actually more bad days than good days. So this was one of the bad days, and this is a part of it.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, it was filming. It was tough. We had to be very. We had to be very tasteful. You were very I remember being you told us where the cameras can stand, where we can stand, how many people could be there. It was very, very specific about what we could and couldn't do. And then even in terms of the editorial of, sort of showing the moments of what was going on and what was happening, it was pretty hardcore.
Yeah. Well, people needed to see it.
Yeah.
It's part of what we do. It's part of like I said, it's so easy for people on the outside who have never worked in this line of work, especially for the public animal shelters, the city and the county and the type of state shelters, and people on social media, so quick to judge and put these workers down. And I'm going, do you have any idea how hard it must be to be a shelter worker and see all these dogs coming in? And, unlike us, where we get to keep the dogs as long as we want without anybody telling us what to do, we can keep them. Where when you work for a lot of these other city and county shelters, they're like, okay, we're out of room. You need to decide which ones are getting put to sleep today so we can take in this truckload of dogs that just came in. So, these employees that have to do those things, it's extremely hard on them. So I just wanted viewers to see some of these heart-wrenching decisions that have to be made that you don't want to make.
Right. And the idea also, I think this was something that became still a recurring thing, which is like, no one wants to see a dog die on the street, dog die lonely in a kennel in a shelter. At least to have the dog be surrounded by love. The dog got a great meal. Rita, I remember, made him hamburger and noodles and, like a, really great meal. And, it was one of those things where it was like, it's important to you as a rescuer to sort of give those dogs, let them die with dignity. I mean, that's a phrase you've
let them
said
die
over the years.
Peacefully and comfortably and, not die in a shelter situation, so.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing also, this was one of those moments, the show, we captured something on camera that, we always talk about, we sort of capture these magic moments with you and the dogs and the kids with the dogs and just the dogs in general. But, I remember sitting on, we were sitting out in front of Louise's house in the driveway. She had this back, sort of unique special house. It was like this little small house in the backyard.
Guest house.
It was like a back house of another property or whatever, guest house. And we're sitting in the driveway and everyone's sort of a little melancholy after what had happened. And Louise's dog Joseph, who was, sort of like nuzzles up to you and I just remember being so like, I couldn't believe we were filming it. 2, was happening, and 3, it was like just one of those moments where it's like dogs know stuff. I mean, they know.
It felt like it was Alessandro, channeling through Joseph and just saying, it's okay, lady, you did the right thing. Everything's gonna be fine. Oh, thank you for saying that to me. Thank you.
Yeah, Joseph came up to me and he could tell that I was upset. And this is a dog that didn't like have a super close relationship to me, and he could feel it. So, it was a magical moment. I remember that. Yeah.
Other sort of just shifted, the things, this episode also featured Heidi's first appearance on the show. Heidi, who's still with you, as a, so Heidi, where did we find, Heidi was a friend of Louise's. How did you find Heidi?
I don't remember. Heidi volunteered in California. She was like a kid, like a teenager, so she traveled across the country with us and came with us to Louisiana. But actually Heidi, as we speak, is leaving tomorrow. She's leaving Villalobos.
Wow.
She's
for good?
Moving to Mexico to be with her boyfriend.
Wow.
I know.
That's huge.
I told her, I said, whoa, that's wow. So she says she hopes to be able to find some dog rescues over there that she can, work with and help and take her knowledge and everything that she's learned with us, which will be, amazing because, in that country, animals don't have the best of care. It's just a dangerous country to live in, But I told her, I said, man, I give you credit. Like, wow. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Heidi's gone.
She's gonna be tomorrow, yeah.
All right. So, we're winding it down here. So, time machine moment to you. Is there anything, anything you would have done differently? Like, the Alessandro rescue, looking back, I actually think for me, as the producer, I think that was one of the more important stories we did this season because I think it sort of just showed that this show was not shiny, happy dogs all the time. And we, we sort of started to realize that the show worked well when it sort of when it hit the emotions and it made you cry happy tears, it made you cry sad tears. But, it just showed the reality of what you guys were going through.
Also too, and contrary to what so many people think, is we can't save every dog. We can't.
True.
That's just a unicorn story, and there are people out there that believe you can. And I'm like, you know what? You need to walk a day in our shoes because you cannot. Things change at a moment's notice. We're nothing is very like. I always laugh, and when I'll get someone that emails or calls, and they'll ask me something, and you might be a little bit flippant about it, and then I'll give them an honest answer, and they'll say, wow, that was not very professional of you, and I respond with, where do you get professional out of pit bulls and parolees? Like, no one ever said we were professional. Things just don't go right all the time.
Yeah.
Nothing is perfect.
True.
I don't have a perfect office with, assistants surrounded by, admin assistants and people that answer my phones. And,
Your podcast office doesn't have a deck.
yeah, well, it depends on where I'm at as far as a podcast studio. Sometimes I'm down below. Sometimes I'm down.
No,
in
but
town.
we're just
Yeah, I don't
right.
have a
No,
deck
but I'm
right.
saying,
Yeah. So, we're still work in progress as far as some of the stuff that we do. I love when these people say, Tia, can you, perfect example. We have a sponsorship program to the rescue where you can donate every month to a particular dog. You get a photo of the dog, and then you can join our private Facebook group for the sponsors. And I run it. But I get people in there that say, can you give us daily updates of these dogs? I'm like, guys, that means I have to do it. I don't have minions. I don't have assistants. I have to do this. So we're not, we're very hands-on. We're outside. I mean, you saw Kanani. I mean, he's all came in from outside. He's all, scruffled up from being out there because he's standing on a floating barge with the wind blowing on the lake, I know it sounds so exotic, but we're in the swamp. This is not like, oop, I just lost sound.
No, you're still there. I still got you. Oh, do you hear me? Tia, do you hear me? Okay, I'll keep going. So we're having some technical difficulties. This happens because we ain't professional. We were just saying. Yeah. I am not hearing Tia, but whatever. So we were wrapping it up anyway. I don't get you. No audio, Tia. Do you hear me? Thumbs up, thumbs down? No, nothing.
We're booting up. Oh, there we are. Can you hear me now?
All right.
No?
Anyway. All right.
Now we can't hear Billy.
I don't know if she's talking, I'm talking. I don't know if this is going to work.
Oh, now
but
I can
we'll
hear
figure
him.
it out.
Now I can hear him.
Maybe something.
Can you hear me now? He says no.
I can't hear you. Here, I'm going to wrap it up and we'll finish. So maybe you can understand my hand signals. So
we got to make sure we can hear
this
you.
episode of Pitbulls, Parolees, and a Producer was produced by Amanda Moser, Candace Gobet. They're still trying to figure out the audio. Let's see if we get Tia back for the end here.
I can take my headphones off now. Woohoo!
And we're done. Okay. This episode, I think we're done.
Get rid of this shit.
So for those of you listening at home, don't forget, you watch, you listen, you join, they eat. Thanks so much. Bye, Tia.
We're just a hot mess right now.
Hopefully we'll figure it out next time.
This is bad. Okay, bye.